Good morning. Thank you to all the people who have made these talks possible. Thank you, Rob. Thank you, Elizabeth. I am going to talk about one of my favorite topics these years, and it is forming the ESP teacher. First, we have to define what ESP is, English for specific purposes. And we have, as we can see here, ESP is English instruction based on actual and immediate needs of learners who have to successfully perform real-life tasks. So we are going to help our students do their professional duties using English. That's why ESP is needs-based and it is task-oriented. They need to do what they need to do, but using English effectively. And of course, ESP is a challenge for all who teach it, and it offers virtually unlimited opportunities for professional growth. Teachers who can teach in different ESP contexts can learn a lot, and a lot of everything. English is a movement in teaching English for highly specialized context, according to what students need the language for. ESP looks for enabling them to carry out specific tasks. But ESP also requires teachers who are able to meet these teaching settings. That's why sometimes these ESP teachers need to be trained to be able to deal with these environments. Sometimes ESP teachers need to face some dilemmas when teaching ESP. Look at these two statements. And of course, we cannot have an interaction here, but think about it and tell me, do you agree or disagree? An English course must include the four skills. Think about it. The teacher must always know more than the student. Think about it. And, well, in both statements, the answer is no. It's not true. Sometimes we have to teach even in spite of our own beliefs. So teaching ESP could challenge teachers' beliefs. It's not easy, but remember, what we have to do is to meet our students' needs. What are some of these characteristics? Students' needs, ESP is students' needs centered. Everything goes around the student. There has to be a process of needs analysis. It follows the methodology of the discipline taught. Probably we know how to do things in our discipline, but not in the discipline of our students. Language appropriateness to the activities the learner has to perform. We know English and we know the meaning of words, but we don't know what those words mean in specific activities in specific areas. There is a misunderstanding about ESP. ESP is not simply about teaching or learning technical vocabulary, as many teachers think. ESP involves sub-technical vocabulary. We might be teaching engineers, but in the field of engineering, we have civil engineering, we have technical engineering, we have computers engineering. So these are the sub-technical vocabulary. We cannot assume to know how English is used in a specific context. We cannot assume because we are not a specialist in that area. And the tasks and materials should be appropriate and authentic. Forming the ESP teacher is a real challenge. Some of the characteristics ESP teachers need to have, they must be flexible. They need to adapt to different fields. They must be interested in different topics because sometimes they might be teaching engineering, sometimes they might be teaching nursing, sometimes they might be teaching in other fields. The bad news about ESP is that they are willing to invest time in planning classes and adapting materials. All of these materials have to be authentic. ESP teachers need to be able to deal with all kinds of students, from the boss, the employee, the secretary, so all kinds of students. Students, teachers, because they are my students, teachers need to tolerate uncertainty. Sometimes not being in control is very stressing. But at the same time, our teachers can develop empathy. The way we feel is the same way the teachers feel. The teachers and our students feel. Teachers must be willing to play different roles. Sometimes they can be the facilitators. Sometimes they can be the guides for the students. And sometimes they have to be just observing. They are the observers of the students. They can be just looking at what students can do. Teachers, ESP teachers, need to be able to stand back and let students direct their own learning, which is not easy to do, but ESP teachers can do. And to be able to do all this, teachers need to have self-esteem, good self-esteem. So that's why ESP teachers need training, need to be helped when they go through this process. But teaching ESP also offers a lot of good opportunities. If the teacher is novice, the teacher can have a realistic view on the job. And experienced teachers can develop new ideas. Sometimes they get bored, but they can develop new ideas. Teachers can perform research in the classroom. So ESP can be refreshing for teachers. And something that I think is really, really important is that teachers become aware of the social and economic needs of their local context. So teachers can create their own jobs based on those social and economic needs of their local context. I think that's really important. Yes. Of course, teachers can adapt and create materials, but as I said before, based on authentic material, on authentic text that students use in their areas. Teachers, ESP teachers must feel comfortable performing new roles in the classroom, and the most important, to help students fulfill their needs and wants in their language learning. It is the ESP teacher is focused on meeting those real and immediate needs that his or her students have. There have been some criticism on ESP. Of course, ESP is not the solution to all language learning, but it is a good alternative for helping students feel their own goals. Thank you very much for having me here. Goodbye.